Hello and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. Wherever you are in this world, I wish you well. Welcome to another episode of the Sacred Raven podcast. Grab yourself a nice cup of tea and let's get cozy. I set a goal when I began this podcast. I would produce an episode once a week for a year, and then at which time I would evaluate how I feel about it and the direction it would be going. This is the 16th episode, and I feel I've done well so far. But I must admit that I've been feeling less than inspired. What to discuss has been eluding me. And as I sit here in front of my laptop, I decided to let the words flow through my fingertips and onto the keyboard. Every single one of these episodes have been first curated in a Word document. I need to write out what I want to say before I record myself. I find it difficult to simply record any thoughts I decide to verbalize in the moment. My mind wanders easily and, well, sometimes I just don't know what to say. And then I would end off on multiple tangents. It wouldn't be cohesive. Also, this might stem from my days as an English literature and creative writing major back in college. I wrote so much back then that I burnt myself out. And it took almost 15 years for me to get back into any sort of writing. I am thankful I have surpassed that struggle, for this podcast may never have happened. And now here I am, sitting on my bed, trying to gather my thoughts. I discovered many moons ago that I write best when I am feeling inspired. In fact, I am certain most people do. However, inspiration does not always hit when we want it. And that's partly what led to my burnout my senior year in college. I had to write. I had deadlines. And my heart was no longer in it because there was pressure to perform and produce. I have also learned along the way that just because you're good at something, it doesn't mean you'll have the heart for it. And that is okay. And I find myself wondering if I have placed a goal a little too large for myself, for right now. I don't want to get myself to the point of disliking writing again. I don't want to feel that internal pressure of production. Now, don't get me wrong. I do enjoy feeling productive. I like checking things off of a to-do list. But at what cost? Is the stress that has started to build going to keep growing each week? And do I push through it, hoping for a different outcome? Or do I adjust my original goal of creating an episode once a week? Maybe it becomes an episode once every 10 days or 2 weeks. I don't yet know. But what I have been experiencing is now transforming into an episode. Though I don't imagine this one will be as long as the others. I will see soon enough. I could be wrong. I do like surprises. Or maybe I just need to get all of these thoughts out so they don't cycle and loop themselves in my psyche. Maybe someone listening to this will be able to relate. And maybe that will make all the difference. Theologically speaking, inspiration is defined as a divine influence directly and immediately exerted upon the mind or soul. I have to say that I adore that definition. But it makes me wonder. You see, a couple of years ago, I provided human design readings. If you don't know what human design is, it is a system that uses your birth information to provide insights into your energy type, decision-making strategy, and life purpose helping you live in alignment with your true self. It's like the energetic blueprint to who you are. And the sacral area in human design is considered the area of the body where inspiration comes from. So now I wonder, does inspiration come from inside the body, specifically the sacral energy center? Or does it come from an external divine source, like the definition suggests? And what if it's both? After all, two opposite things can be right at the same time. What are your thoughts on that? Please leave a comment. I would love to know. Well, whether it came from an outside source or somewhere deep inside me, I felt inspired to research a few quotes on inspiration and the process of it. And I feel they may or may not inspire you. Roy T. Bennett once said, "Instead of worrying about what you cannot control, shift your energy to what you can create." Yes, because worrying keeps you in a state of fear. Fear blocks and restricts what you can do. It's a limiting veil that we too often place upon ourselves for no good reason at all. We can find all the good excuses for it, but no actual good reason. And if you choose to live in fear, it will obstruct your creativity. Arthur Ashe said, "Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can." That quote is the epitome of this episode. But it's rather good advice. Because once you have a starting point, your creative mind will function enough to keep you going. And you never know. You may actually create something wonderfully magical and inspirational. You may even produce enough to create another podcast episode, thus continuing to fulfill a year-long goal. And lastly, Steve Jobs stated, "If you are working on something that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you." And that's true as well. If there really is something you want to do or accomplish, if you want it bad enough, you will find a way to make it happen. You may not know how you will make that thing happen, but you will make it happen. And that goes with anything, right? You have no idea how you're going to get through a situation or experience, but you somehow get through it. You figure it out along the way. And hopefully, you learn some valuable lessons while doing so. Because something tells me that when you do, your present into future self will thank you. As I sit here and review my words, I feel a slight sense of relief. I took what I had been experiencing and transformed it into what I wanted to create. Sort of. I alchemized a struggle into something worth sharing. Was I expecting to write and talk about inspiration or a lack thereof? No. In fact, I was hoping to feel inspired enough to talk about the enchanted spirit board I have, because a friend and I got together this week and used it. But that flash of inspiration never hit. I was also hoping to feel inspired to talk about something to do with Celtic shamanism, or a witchy spell, or connecting with an ancestor of mine and offer their advice. But again, there wasn't that pull. There wasn't that, "Oh, this is what I want to talk about" moment. And I have to remind myself that is okay. It's important for you to be reminded of that as well. It is okay when things don't always go as planned. It teaches you to trust, to pivot, and to feel safe. Once you can start mastering that, then it becomes smooth sailing. So, with all of that said, thank you for joining me in this episode. I appreciate you taking the time to share this space with me. If this has resonated with you, please take a second to follow or subscribe, leave a review or comment, or share this with someone who may be venturing down a spiritual path and has a hunger to learn and grow. I will see you next time. Stay cozy and take care.